society is changing quite quickly, and it makes you question everything, like everything that we knew. Is it going to go back? Like, obviously not everything's going to go back, but like, what's going to go back? What's going to stay like this? Like, so many courses I feel like now are going to be offered online, and they're going to continue to keep it online. I feel like more people are going to go online for everything. A lot of businesses are going to be forced to close their businesses and only work from home after this, because they won't be able to afford to pay for the rent and the taxes of the buildings. And
in the mall that I worked at as security, like the stores chose to close because the mall wouldn't close because they wanted people to pay rent. So the mall physically stayed open, but they wouldn't, but the tenants had to choose, okay, I'm going to choose the well-being of my employees rather than making money. But you wouldn't even really make money because you're a clothing store. So
no one's shopping.
Exactly. Like my last shift, I was literally working, and there was like maybe max 10 people in the mall at one time. It was nuts.
It is nuts. It's crazy. Like let me get my Webometer. It's like actually shocking. Like, it's like,
I agree.
It's scary. Like, England, the States, Spain, Italy, like all those places are just like on fire right now.
Well, Ventura County, which is in California, my boyfriend told me that they like shut down everything, like even the liquor stores and stuff. And because in Canada we have essential things in quotes, which are open. So like gas stations, grocery stores,
booze.
Alcohol and stuff like that. And I went to the LCBO today, which is our liquor store in Canada. And the lady was so aggressive and bitter. Like the one that was working, I went to walk in, I didn't realize there was no sign, nobody standing outside telling me not to go in. She's like, you can't be in here. I look at her, I was like, okay, because I was just returning a cart for an elderly lady. She asked me to return her cart for her. So I was bringing it in. I wasn't even paying attention. I was on my phone. And she goes, you can't be in here. Go wait in line, like behind that gentleman out there. I look out, and there's a man sitting like off side, like away from the door. I wouldn't have even noticed that he was in line, and then she comes back in, she's like, yep, this is the way of life now, blah blah blah, people don't listen, we should just shut down everything, like who cares, people should be stocked up by now. I looked at her, just kind of laughed and said, I think there'd be riots, honestly. And she's like, well, people should know. And then this older man who had 260s of rum behind me, he says, you sound kind of bitter. She's like, well, I am. Like, people are stupid. They don't listen, blah, blah, blah. But, like, okay, you're just bitter that you have to work and everybody else doesn't. Like, sorry, you're an essential service.
Yeah, well, people need to understand, too, that, like, yes, there are going to be people who are ignorant and rude and stuff and are ignoring it because they don't care and they're selfish and they're only caring about themselves. But then there's also the other people who aren't following the rules, not because that they don't care or they're selfish, but because it's really hard to change social behavior that quickly. And a lot of people, they just emotionally and mentally can't just change that quickly.
Right.
A lot of people don't even realize that they think they are doing good, but they actually aren't. They just don't realize that they're not.
Right.
Yeah. Like, for example, like people who are stressed with work and they have kids and all this stuff. And like, they're like not even realizing that they're at the grocery store and they're touching everything and they're getting too close to people. And they're like, I don't know. I feel like the whole world's trying to change their behavior at the same time.
Yeah.
There's going to be some slips. People are going to get confused. There's going to be misinformation.
That's right.
It doesn't help when government people like Trump and other people are saying that it's like the flu, and other people are saying, oh, if you take this, it will probably cure it.
My dad sent me something online, and I think he actually believed it. Like, put a hairdryer to your face and it will kill the virus. And I think, because especially for the baby boomers, like they say don't believe everything you see online, but I don't think they actually know to not believe everything they see online. No,
because we grew up in this space where we stopped at a certain age learning how to retain information, and we started learning how to search for information.
Right.
Because we don't need to remember anything anymore. We just Google it.
Yeah.
As long as you know how to find information, you're good.
Well, that's how
parents in that generation, our grandparents, when they were in school, they were told to find, they had learned how to find information. They had to go through the libraries, search for things. Like, they didn't just have access to information. They had to literally search for information and remember it, because they might not find that information again, or it'd be very hard to. Like, they didn't have access to all these search engines to tell them everything that they need to know. So
Right.
I just think that when they see something online, they're like, oh, here it is. This is
Must be
that's
right.
cool. This is right. Like, obviously someone's putting this much effort into it and it looks professional. It's on the news. It's right.
Right.
And then I don't believe that at all. Anytime I see something on the news, I Google that. Like, anytime I'm like reading into something, I will Google that into a Google. Oh my God. I will type that into Google. And I will look to see what the opposite articles are and what they're saying, and I'll compare them, and then I'll make my decision.
See, that's good. Like, I am
Other
guilty.
sources.
I'm so guilty of just like reading. I don't even read the articles on Facebook. I look at the title and I go, oh, and then I share it. Like,
That's not good.
no, I am.
Because one day you're going to share something that
I
you
have.
didn't read that was actually not good, and then you're going to get in trouble for it.
I have. No, I definitely
have
have
you?
done
Wow.
that. And well, people will be like, well, actually, this article was from 2020 or 2015 or something.
Oh.
Or this isn't true. Like, this was debunked or something. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so I just stopped sharing like serious stuff, and now I just share dog stuff and funny things.
Yeah. Oh, so it was Florida commissioner. Well, I wonder what his name is. It doesn't really say here.
Well, they wouldn't want.
So, well, it was right on like TV, so his name must be out. Oh, here it is. Bryant Culpepper? Bryant Culpepper? So literally, it's like Culpepper. Yeah,
Sounds like a
claim
douche.
blowing heat and steam into one's nose can kill off the novel coronavirus. The fact that balls to get up on a stage in front of an audience like that and just claim something so bizarre, like, and the people will believe it because they're going to think, oh, hot heat kills bacteria, so it would kill a virus,
They're
right?
gonna burn themselves.
But that's what they think. People, like, some people, like, they're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, and then, yeah, people were burning themselves for sure. Not a good idea. Like,
Oh my gosh.
well,
Brutal.
Trump also, actually, this is kind of crazy. So if anyone has watched the Netflix movie Contagion, it's not actually by Netflix,
Oh my
but it's
God.
on Netflix. They actually have a part in there with this one reporter, and he's trying to say that this medication for, I think it was lupus or something, that cured like the disease, whatever the disease was called in the movie. But there's people doing that now where like they're saying that Plaquenil and all these other medications and could cure and help the disease, but there's not enough research to actually like support that.
Right.
But what's happening is some people are like going and filling the prescriptions and like selling it and like getting it and taking away from people who actually need it because their immune systems are compromised by lupus and all these other diseases, and they can't get their medications because other people are stocking up on it or taking it and they don't even need it. And these are serious medications. Like, they're not just to be taken.
Yeah.
Like, some of them shut off your immune system.
That's
literally
crazy.
Yeah, there's literally people. There's actually someone died. Trump said that, I gotta find what the medication. Trump said would cure COVID-19. 19 killed. Yeah, like a couple went and took whatever Trump said. Like, first of all, people, just because someone's the president of the United States or the prime minister of somewhere or anything, are they a doctor? Are they a scientist? No. So do not take their advice on that.
They're literally politicians.
A doctor yeah, exactly. Like, when a doctor or a scientist gets up on stage and says their piece, like, you can probably take that, but even like, you always got to kind of keep an open mind, but and also kind of critique everything you listen to. But like, politicians shouldn't be up there saying what's going to cure things and what their take on everything is when it comes to medical facts, all that, because they're not medical professionals.
No, exactly. And like
Arizona, yeah, here it is. See, like, oh my God. Like, I can't even. Arizona man dies after attempting to take Trump coronavirus cure.
SOS.
A Phoenix man has died, and his wife was in critical condition after the couple took, it was chloroquine phosphate, an addictive, it's an additive used to clean fish tanks. And Trump said right to the general public in like some sort of press conference or video that it was an option of a thing that they were testing out. It could be a cure. Why would you say that? Just don't say that at all.
Oh
like
my God.
You're scaring people. You're giving people false hope. You're giving people like information that they don't even know what to use for. Now
False
you just had a
information.
couple. You just gave a couple a reason to take something that I just don't understand. First of all, that the people should have known not to do that. But at the same time, like
your president's telling you to do it.
Exactly. When you're put into a place of power like that, you really got to watch your words. You can't be talking about how there's this magical thing that could help you, and then people who are desperate do desperate things.
Yeah, that's right.
And he died. Like, she lost her husband. He died.
Yeah,
like,
it's
and she
so
was in the ICU. Yeah, it's very sad.
Very
and like
sad.
So I pulled up the web meter thing here, and it's absolutely crazy. Like, I remember when this started off, and it was like a few hundred cases, a few thousand cases, and it was kind of going up a bit slowly. And then it hit like 30 or 40, and I was like, oh, this is getting kind of serious. And then it hit 100,000, and I was like, oh. Then it hit 500,000, and I was like, fuck. And then now it's at 1 million, and I'm just like, holy crap. Like, it's just like.
Yeah. I remember when, like, I didn't take it seriously because me and my mom were coming back from Mexico when this was kind of all starting out, and there was no precautions in the airport at all. And we came back, and then I think it was a few weeks later, like probably almost a month later, when it started getting serious in Canada and stuff like that. It was a week or a week and a half before all the restaurants and bars started closing, and I was bouncing at the bar, and there's one guy I work with who's a baby boomer. He's like, nope, I'm not washing my hands. I'm just going to build up my immunity, because when you wash your hands, you're getting rid of all the oils and all of that protect you and build up your immune system. I just looked at him and looked at my other coworker and told him to pass the Purell, because like, that's disgusting. Like, okay, it's not that, okay, maybe you're carrying it and you don't have the symptoms or whatever, but then you pass it on to somebody with a kid or somebody with a grandparent. Like, that's like, I didn't believe it was that serious until probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, like before, when I started getting into quarantine, and then when Tyler started getting the symptoms. But
see, at the very beginning, the problem is that I took it kind of seriously, and I was like, hey guys, I was like, my parents were going to Dominican for a few weeks, and I was like, hey, be careful going into the airports. I'm like, if anywhere it's going to start spreading, it's going to be in the airports. It's the first place it's going to go from China is an airport. Like, there's nowhere else. There's no other way it's coming over here unless it comes on a plane or possibly a boat, like mostly planes. So they're like, oh, we're fine. I don't even like Corona. They're making jokes or whatever. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, you were warned. And then things started coming out saying that it was like influenza-like, it was like a flu-like, all that stuff. And I was like, okay, maybe I was being a little dramatic. Like, I'll just back off of it. And then look what happened.
Nothing like the flu.
Yeah, now my parents like sanitize everyone and take their temperature before they even get in their house. And I'm just like, told ya.